That's Mummy's camera, baby. So they're just warming up for the battle. This is the Union. The Confederacy have already started marching over there with the cavalry, and we have our own 2 cavalry on the right hand side there, just on the right hand side of the shot. We're going to follow them over.
In 2 ranks, right! Face!
Oh, it's alright. Don't worry about it. Oh, except that big thing, please. And the one up there on the... That would be great. Thank you. So, here comes the battle. We think what's going to happen is double flanking. We think.
Stop now, girls.
Oh, there you go. There we go.
Load of you are by the main field. The victim of the main field will be the American Civil War battle. This is a battle that took place, or a war that took place between 1861 and 1865. Between the forces of the Union, they are in blue, and... by the way, you are allowed to cheer for any of these people. And the Confederacy, who are in various shades of all colours, including grey. Now, during this battle, you will notice that most of the Confederates are not in fact wearing grey. There's a very good reason for this. We'll explain that as we go along. Now, the American Civil War is an important war because it actually starts off very similar to a Napoleonic War. The tactics, and they believe the weapons are the same, but they're not. The weapons have improved considerably. So, as the war went on, so did the tactics. The beginning of this war will start off with what is effectively the Napoleonic battle. By the end of this war, we will in fact have a full-scale dress rehearsal for World War I. By the end of this war, we will have the Penton repeating small. But it was the Union Army, and it was dressed in blue.
Here we go then. Let's get the start of the battle underway.
The Union Army had a variety of uniforms, from long frock coats.
Looks like an ambush setup, Confederacy.
From shorter shell jackets.
Ambushing on both sides.
But as the war went on,
We do have cavalry joining us today for both sides, so they will make an appearance through the middle, I'm hoping, as well.
As a Union soldier, you could expect a new uniform every 6 months or so. Not only could you expect a new uniform every 6 months or so, but you could also expect useful
Here we
things
go.
like ammunition, food, pay, not things the Confederates were getting. Now, when a unit marches, it normally marches in 4. 4 is a good way to march for abreast. However, you want to be fighting in 2s. Now, our Union column is making its way along the line, completely unaware that to either side of it, we'll have to pretend this, we've removed the trees so you can see what's going on. But in the tree line, to either side, of course, are the Confederates. Now, the Confederates know the country, because actually most of the war, except from the Pennsylvania campaign, is the Confederates actually going into Union territory. Now, our Union immediately begin to form defensive lines either side. I don't think our Union commander is aware that he's been attacked from both sides. A couple of things to point out about our unfortunate Union in the middle here. You can see that they were obviously in parade ground order. The NCOs, the chief NCOs, are wearing their red sashes. And you can see this because they've got these wonderful red sashes, these wall sashes. Officers would have different coloured sashes. As the war went on, by the way, they tended to lose these because this would just make them targets. So actually, as the war went on, they simplified their uniforms. You'll notice also that most of the Union are wearing what's called forage caps and sack coats. That's these 4-button sack coats. The reason for this is the sack coat was actually given to them to do fatigues in, or to do, if you like, wood cutting, toilet duties, things like this. However, civilian soldiers, they simply sent all of their fancy uniforms home and fought the war in the sack coats. But that's fortunate for them. The Confederates, on the other hand, didn't have no such luxury. The Confederate uniform is completely different. At the beginning of the war, they had militias that were formed essentially to prevent slave uprisings. And these militias would then become the army. They didn't have a uniform. uniform. So the uniform they chose to use was the cadet uniform, which was great. In fact, the gentleman I'm approaching now on this side has the cadet uniform, the original one, with the long frock coat, the full frock coat. So, the cadet uniform was great, apart from the fact that the Union cadets were still in the grey uniform. Some of the regulars who joined the Confederacy was just the blue uniform, and confusion arose. So, what did they do? They decided to make their own uniform. Now the uniform they chose was brown, dark chocolate brown. The problem was they didn't have the resources to do it. So they made it out of a mixture of jean cloth, which is called jean cloth, which is a mixture of wool.
So we've got cavalry. I know, that's what I'm looking out for. I'm looking. Excuse my coughing on the camera. Can't see the cavalry because this Confederate soldier is in my way. Let's see if I can move the camera. Because, as far as I am told, there's going to be a nice little ambush with the cavalry and our flag, which is there, in the Union, sorry. Here they come. Here come the cavalry. Oh, running.
Steel blues and other colours and other uniforms out of the Confederate lines. This is because this, if you like...
Here we go. Here come the cavalry.
Not only that, but as the war went on, the Confederate economy collapsed. And therefore there was no longer the resources to make...
Here we go. Here we go.
To make these uniforms or to supply them. Many Confederates would spend 3 years of the war in the same uniform. Not just that, the standard Richmond jacket, you can always tell how far in the war you are because it gets shorter and shorter as the war goes on and also gets simpler and simpler. The corporal on this end's got a mid-war one. As you can see, there's no lacing and his stripes are simply 2 black ribbons.
They're going back in or?
They're simply 2 black ribbons.
Yeah.
Now we have on the field some cavalry. Now cavalry, during the American Civil War, there was very few major cavalry battles. The cavalry battles that happened
Here come the Union cavalry. Here we go then.
Because it is very difficult to get horses to do this. This takes an awful lot of time and training. Run away, Billy! They're not playing. I'm just going to stand back a little bit from horses, because otherwise they will stand on me, and I'm considerably more squishy than the horses are. Okay, on the right! The reason for this was the guns. Now let's go over to the guns. You'll see there that our Unions are in the middle. They're fighting from the centralised position. They've got no cover and they're actually being picked off by the Confederates. Now, for the sake of you being able to see what's going on, we have actually minimised the battlefield. This range that they're firing at here would be 3 to 5 times the actual range that we're displayed on this battlefield. Now we're not testing your intelligence here, what we are doing is we're being able to demonstrate it in this small area.
Oh, they don't know that.
I'm going to go into the infantry line and carry on from there. There we go. So the muskets in use here are the Enfields and Springfields. The Enfields are English made, say 100,000 of them. They're the most common single modern muskets.
Here come the cavalry.
In the entire war. The Enfields, 1.4 million of them, is divided across 2 models. The Springfields are 58 calibre, the Enfields are 5.77, but because of the soft lead calibre, soft lead bullets that they're using, what's actually happening is the ammunition is completely interchangeable. So, and this is being used by both the Confederacy and the Union. Now our Union here are looking in a bad way. They're actually taking heavy casualties. But, in a war between the blue and the grey, let me introduce you to the green. In the far corner, I have some bird and sharpshooters. Now what's happened is they have been tracing the Union lines, and as you can see, they're coming up alongside
the commentator is talking about the sharpshooters on the end down here. Just coming to the field.
Sharpshooters, they were trained to be sharpshooters, not just regular line infantry. So they thought more akin to how we would think of modern infantry. Not only that, but they
just realised Christian's in the middle of the Union. I didn't realise.
These are breech-loading rifles capable of 7
Bang in
rounds
here.
a minute. And more importantly, they're more accurate than any of the other weapons here. Now the Confederacy would have loved this technology, but they didn't get this technology because they couldn't produce it. The Union was already beginning to introduce things like these breech-loading rifles. As the war went on, the Union would begin to introduce magazine-fed rifles, rocket rifles, dispensers. And as the war went on, the Union was able to produce these things in massive numbers. As for our Confederacy, its economy was dying. It could not even pay its soldiers, never mind provide new guns. I think I've heard that sharpshooters are beginning to tell. I also noticed that they're moving forward like modern troops, two at a time covering each other. This is the basis of modern infantry tactics. What they have done is totally taken the pressure off our besieged Union infantry in the middle. The worst thing for an infantry unit is to have to go two ways. Now, they only have to go one. I was talking about the Confederate, the Union officers not looking so bling, so as to actually not get picked off by sharpshooters. Our Union commander here is actually less visible than the sergeants with their sashes on. And as the war went on, you'll notice more and more that the fancy display uniforms
Let's see if we can get the other side.
become blander and blander. Like I said to you, this starts off very much
that are left over
as a
there.
Napoleonic
Is there any of them?
style
Oh yeah, there is, look.
and it ends up very
My
much
eyesight isn't as good, so let's use the camera.
for World War I. The uniforms get
So some of our members can't kneel, just bad knees, age, general wear and tear. Hence why not everyone is knelt down, but there are a lot of Dad's got a bandage around his head.
Now, it looks like
He ain't got a kepi on anymore. Okay, I find this really funny. Our Sergeant Dad, he's right here. Although he's Sergeant Major this weekend, sorry. Look at him with his little white bandage. It just makes his hair look even more grey. Here comes the cavalry. Very nice, very nice. Right, let's try and get some better footage. Here we go.
There we go. Oh, the moment of our Union here.
The cavalry are having a nice battle behind the Confederacy here when I'm zoomed in. You can't see them because the Confederacy are in the way.
If you know a volley's coming,
It is always nice to get.
you can duck behind cover.
I thought we couldn't do
And then you know that the enemy's going to spend 20 seconds reloading. So you can actually shoot back at him while he's doing that. This is why, during the war, volley fire was very popular at the beginning, just as it had been in Napoleonic times.
Sharpshooters.
Towards the end of the war, we began to move to modern things like firing by fire.
You okay, Puddin?
Sounds like Nanny's
Union Army, of course,
Puddin,
commanded by
you okay?
War at the time was
Yeah.
a way of command.
Okay.
Brigade level.
Mummy's just checking.
At company levels, you would be, or regimental levels, you would be looking at drum. We've got drum as well. But at bigger levels, you would certainly be looking at bugle.
Hello.
There's a reason for this. Drum, of course, can be quite easily drowned out by cannon fire. However, bugle actually sounds
I'm trying to get him firing because he's got the Western target rifle.
There's a big difference. Buglers played all
I'll
the
see if I can get one when he's
Great job
loaded
of
it.
it.
Hurry up.
Because he is the radio operator for his commander. So he will be receiving, if he's on a big battlefield, he will be receiving commands from the principal bugler, who stood with the general, and he will be listening. There'll be a little tune, that's his tune, that says this order's to you. If not, it'll just be a general order. And if he hears a tune for somebody else, he knows that's not a tune that they need to be dealing with. Most of the lieutenants will know simple orders, forward, fire. Give those captains, therefore 4 and 5 regiments can be easily commanded at one time by bugler in a situation where it's possible for the commander officer to actually shout that out.
He was in my way. I took about 10,000 before Dan got in the way. There's nothing on the fire.
Just as he's about to buy, somebody stands in.
Cavalry.
Our cavalry as well. Attacking there again.
Cavalry about to have another skirmish with the horses. Beautiful.
Like I said, it's very difficult to actually train horses to do this.
There we are then, sharpshooters are back in there.
Lots of people running around, firing guns, making a lot of noise, generally being inconvenient. Horses literally have to be trained to the level of riot. That's how
You can't see the cavalry, however, there is a gentleman pretending to be dead on the horse, and I can't get the camera around quick enough to see. Sorry, who's been killed in action, sorry I should say. Very funny indeed. Oh, you've got Archie, have you? Okay.
He's up and started crawling all over me.
Yeah, fine.
It looks to me like our
jealousy,
sharpshooters
Yep,
are
yep.
exactly what we were meant to do, is driven our Confederates back. You'll also notice I mentioned in the blue between the blue and the kind of grey, of course it's actually butternut, we've now got the green. They don't want his sharpshooters to not be seen, so he gave them green uniforms. They blacked the buttons with rubber from a company called Dunlop. Yes, Dunlop existed during the American Civil War. Oh, they settled down. No, Standard's not allowed to be down.
Oh no, Daddy's gone down.
You notice that there's a great deal of unit pride about the national standards, so if these go down, it's always picked. In fact, it was a mark of honour to give the job of carrying the standard.
Yes, that's good. Not hurt. Yeah, definitely.
And it looks to me like we are actually nearly facing off the Union and the Confederates here, and then the ambush on the Union convoy line here has actually worked. It looks to me like the Union has successfully defended the position. This is actually one of the problems was the fact that the Confederacy could not provide the resources. The Union certainly had basically all of the resources. They had a massive advantage in that respect, just getting out the way of the horses. Whichever move are coming back to the main unit, there you go. I'll get out the way. It's easier to move me than the horses.
Stand up.
Right, the Union are worried about the colour, so rather than lose it, they're going to ask the cavalry to take the colour off the field.
No, you don't want it. No.
Like I say, it's incredibly difficult to get these horses to do things. And in fact, sometimes, if the horse is sewn up, you're more frightened than facing it with guns. I've actually had this before. The horse is
Here come the cavalry, they're taking our colour and saving it, so they're trying to get across the field. Here we go. Look at that.
So the Confederates really have to do two things at every battle. They A, have to win the battle. The reason they have to win the battle is to be able to place the resources on the field. Because that's one of the only ways they're going to get useful things like food and bomb these dead guys here.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was taking pictures at the same time. I lost See if we can get on this other side where the Union have gone. There we go. There's some Confederates still over here. Really blind. In this corner over here. Is that? Well, that's Christian. Confederates there. That's Steve.
There is a 5 on the Union side.
Every time. Oh, and he's gone. He's on the floor. That's the end of him then.
That was just a flesh wound.
The way that manufacture goes is even more insane.
He's on the floor.
For every bullet the Confederates make, the Union are making over 300.
You got a round of applause in
Confederate money, worthless. The best ones they can spend their own Union money, which they have to capture.
He did this dramatic dive and everyone.
Confederates, food supplies are cut in half.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
Mississippi. The ability of the Confederacy to get anything from abroad.
They've got some prisoners over there.
Cut off when the Union surrounds the entire
Can't quite zoom in far
United
enough to see
States
the prisoners.
Confederate
There we
States.
go.
In other words, they stop imports. Blockade running happens, smuggling basically.
They've got a couple of
And they
prisoners
don't
over
get
the other
very
side.
much. When they do get it, they can't afford it, and now they're surrendering. That's quite normal.
There you go,
What
killing
you've
him
got to
now by the
remember
look of
is
it.
This is not a war on some foreign field.
Looks like Sergeant Major's got him on the floor.
These are all American. casualties of all Americans.
There we are, there's the prisoner.
And the leader of the bird and sharpshooter goes to see the Confederate commander and he takes his surrender. Probably won't even take his surrender.
Each side's window.
Yeah.
Worcester Blue Fiesta.
Oh yes,
Yes,
yes we
And the
did.
Reds won that one.
And these soldiers will be taken into captivity. As we come to the end of this battle, there is one little point that I must make. 600,000 men died during the American Civil War. That is more men than died in all subsequent wars. All subsequent wars. In fact, it takes Vietnam before we actually meet
No,
the amount of people that are killed.
Oh, come on,
in the
Jealous.
I think
American
it's
Civil War.
mostly done on
What's even worse is regiments are raised from towns.
because we all
So if a
fought together in
regiment
the evenings
dies,
in each other's camp.
all the young men from that town are dead. It affects the entire
You've got people that have got both uniforms on both sides. I mean, because sometimes you are a bit presumed. I mean, the union's got the better uniform, really. And
Yes,
they've got the better cause.
I agree. I'm
Ladies and
Union, so
gentlemen,
that's fine.
can we have a round of applause for the American Civil War Society? And would the dead of the battlefield please rise?
You're a bit sure regretful that people would sort of
Woo!
move tomorrow is a different matter.
Where is it? Oh yeah, there.